Uh, Ms. Young, as a member of the Appropriations Committee staff, did you work on defense budgets?
I happen to be staff director, so all of them, so
Okay.
defense included.
Yeah. So how do you see the world in terms of danger right now?
Senator, it's hard to look at the news. It's hard to go to the job I have and not hear about the very changing global picture we see every day, especially with what's going on in Eastern Europe.
Is that fair to say for you? Do you agree with that, Ms. Coletti?
Senator, just weighing in to agree.
Okay. So the point I'm making is if you look at President Biden's budget proposal and project it out to 2031, we'll be at 2.5% of GDP spending on defense. That will be below what we were doing on September the 10th, 2001, before we were attacked. So I just think that is a very dangerous glide path for our nation, and I'll be working with people like you and others to try to change that. So I don't want to, make a bunch of speeches about defense other than we need a budget. Do you agree we need a budget quickly, Ms. Young?
Sign me up for as
Okay.
quick as possible.
What about an emergency supplemental? You think we need one of those too?
Senator Graham, we are assessing everything from COVID to our situation in Eastern Europe, and we clearly will be in contact if we think the resources are needed.
Well, I got contacted by the administration about $3.5 billion for Afghanistan to go to UN agencies, not the Taliban. Count me in for that. I think the best way to do that is through an emergency supplemental. The World Food Program has been under siege because of COVID and all kind of problems out there. We've got problems at home and abroad, so I think an emergency supplemental would be well utilized and also to help the Ukraine. As a matter of fact, if we did have an emergency supplemental, would you support designating foreign military financing for Ukraine as part of that package?
Senator, you're looking at someone. I've visited Ukraine 3 times as a congressional staffer and know the issues very up close, and it's troubling by what we see there. So, as you mentioned, we don't have a regular
to support that.
We don't have a regular appropriations bill. So somewhere in one of those packages, I won't dictate to the appropriations leaders how they do it.
Okay.
We certainly support Ukraine aid.
Okay. Iron Dome. 8 months ago, President Biden promised to provide $1 billion to replenish Israel's Iron Dome system following the barrage of missile attacks from Hamas in Gaza. To this point in time, the administration has not yet formally requested the additional Iron Dome funding. Do you know if that's going to happen? Do you support that happening?
Senator Graham, I think the Department of Defense has been clear with congressional leadership that they support that backfilling of Iron Dome. The last legislative vehicle, I understand, is pending in the Senate, but we certainly
I've been told that
that
you haven't made a formal request of the Congress. Is that not accurate?
It's one of many things we have communicated through technical assistance to the Capitol. That is a normal way.
I would just say the sooner the better that we can get Iron Dome replenished, because the world and that part of the world is getting more dangerous also. So I look forward to working with you on that. We just passed a bipartisan infrastructure package, and I voted for, and we had a lot of money for roads and bridges and ports. One of the things that bothers a lot of us, just not me, is that the Federal Highway Administration issued a memo recently that says that runs counter to congressional intent by discouraging the use of federal dollars by states for new highway capacity projects. In South Carolina, we need all the highways we can get. What's your view about that memorandum?
Senator, I was not involved in that memorandum, and I'm happy to take your concerns back and work with you to address any shortcomings.
Please do, because a lot of us who voted for that bill expected the states to have the flexibility they've had in the past to do, appropriately what they need to do. In our state, we do need more roads, and that I appreciate if you could talk to people over the highway department about that. Finally, when do you expect that we will get the next budget?
As you know, Senator, the State of the Union is March 1st. It is typical that the State of the Union would lead into a budget So that is certainly our expectation that you would see that normal course of interaction between the State of the Union and the budget.
And finally, do you agree with me that continuing resolutions really are harmful to the Defense Department?
What does that say behind you? The world's a dangerous place?
Yeah.
So every 2 week, every 3 week increments is not the way to budget.
Thank you so much.